Today I will be looking at Four Swords. This story takes place a few generations after the Minish Cap. A new Zelda is kidnapped by Vaati after he has broken out of the Four Sword. A new hero, Link, rushes to retrieve the Four Sword to save Princess Zelda. Upon removing the sword, Link is split into four and his quest begins. The placement of Four Swords is one of the hardest to do because there is very little to go on to align the maps. However, I believe there is a likely location where Four Swords took place. When looking at the Four Swords map, there are only three main areas that we can analyze and begin to figure out where it could fit in the Breath of the Wild map. Death Mountain, the Sea of Trees, and the Talus Cave. The Palace of the Winds is also on the map, but it is not being used to identify the location of the Four Swords map. Looking at the Breath of the Wild map and considering the three locations on the Four Swords map, the only area that could contain Four Swords is just northwest of Zora's Domain and south of Death Mountain. This area would make sense because it is just north of the area where I believe Minish Cap took place. Now let me present my evidence that puts Four Swords in this general location. When comparing the maps, Death Mountain is the first area that pops out on the Four Swords map. It is important to note that Four Swords is showing multiple volcanoes, so I believe it is likely it is the Death Mountain range and not the Death Mountain. It is likely that the southern portion of Death Mountain in Breath of the Wild is the Death Mountain area in Four Swords. Next, the Chamber of Insights is on a small peninsula in a lake to the southeast of the Death Mountain area. When looking at the Breath of the Wild map, there is a lake, Cephala Lake, with a small peninsula in generally the same spot as the Four Swords map. Now the lake shape and Death Mountain are not the exact same in both games, but the geography of the area and its vicinity to the Minish Cap would make a strong argument for this area to be the Four Swords area. It is important to note there are small mountains that could be the Talus Cave, but there is insufficient evidence to know exactly which one of these mountains are the location. The Sea of Trees could have been a casualty of the expansion of the Kingdom of Hyrule and the excavation to create the East Reservoir Lake, as mentioned in my last video. As stated earlier, with so little to go on, this is the most difficult game to place in the series, and with so little information, this is my best guess to the location. However, I do believe that the proximity to the Minish Cap location and the relation between the Death Mountain location and lake location helps to establish Four Swords in this area. Even the possibility of the Talus Cave being one of the mountains south of Death Mountain and west of the lake add to the likelihood of the location. Again, please let me know if there is anything I missed, and thank you for watching. I will be covering Ocarina of Time in the next video in this series.